The crumpled $200 bills landed on the kitchen table like they were worth more than a human life. Standing beside the doorway, Lenora Ashcroft realized the woman who had promised to protect her had just traded her future to a ragged stranger wearing worn-out clothes and carrying nothing but an old backpack. Her stepmother smiled with cold satisfaction, believing she had finally rid herself of the young woman she had always despised. But neither of them knew the quiet man walking away wasn't looking for a servant or a bargain. He was conducting a secret test that would expose greed, reward compassion, and change every life involved forever. If you believe kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances can change lives, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey with our family and our community. Lenora was 23 years old when her world seemed to collapse. After losing her father to a sudden illness, she remained in the family home under the legal guardianship of her stepmother, Colette Fairmont. Her father had always promised that everything would eventually belong equally to Lenora, but before the estate could be settled, Colette quietly gained temporary control of the finances and used every opportunity to convince others that Lenora was lazy, ungrateful, and incapable of living independently. The truth was painfully different. Lenora spent every afternoon volunteering at a neighborhood food pantry, helping elderly residents carry groceries, and searching for work while grieving the only parent who had truly loved her. She never complained, even when Colette treated her like an unwanted guest in her own home. One sunny afternoon, a tired-looking man wearing patched clothing knocked on the front door asking whether anyone had temporary work available. His beard was untrimmed, his boots were dusty, and he appeared to have spent weeks sleeping outdoors. His name was Alaric Sterling. Unknown to everyone in town, Alaric was one of the country's wealthiest entrepreneurs. After building a successful technology company, he had stepped away from public life and begun quietly visiting communities disguised as an ordinary traveler. He believed a person's true character appeared only when money and status disappeared. Colette looked at the stranger with obvious contempt. Believing he was homeless and desperate, she mocked him before making an outrageous suggestion. If he wanted someone to clean, cook, and help renovate an old countryside cottage she owned, he could take Lenora with him. She cruelly accepted $200, treating the exchange as though she were simply sending away someone she no longer wanted. Alaric immediately refused to treat Lenora as property. He calmly explained that no person could ever be bought or sold. The money, he said, was only to rent the abandoned cottage legally for several months while offering Lenora a paid opportunity to manage its restoration if she freely agreed. He then turned to Lenora and made one thing perfectly clear. The decision belonged entirely to her. With nowhere else to go and desperate for a fresh start, Lenora accepted the job. The cottage stood in a peaceful valley surrounded by wildflowers and old oak trees. It had been neglected for years, yet beneath the broken shutters and faded paint remained extraordinary beauty waiting to be restored. Every afternoon they worked side by side repairing fences, planting gardens, polishing old wooden floors, and restoring forgotten furniture. Alaric never acted like an employer demanding perfection. Instead, he encouraged Lenora's creativity and quietly admired her determination. She noticed something unusual. Although he dressed like someone with almost nothing, he possessed remarkable knowledge about architecture, finance, engineering, and business. He could repair almost anything, spoke with quiet confidence, and treated every worker they hired with equal respect. Slowly, Lenora stopped seeing a homeless stranger. She saw a deeply compassionate man carrying invisible burdens of his own. Alaric, meanwhile, watched Lenora transform the neglected cottage into a welcoming home. She planted flowers for neighbors instead of herself. She baked bread for elderly residents living nearby. She organized weekend gatherings where lonely people shared meals together beneath the afternoon sunshine. Everything she did came from generosity rather than obligation. Months passed. The once forgotten cottage became the heart of the local community. Then an unexpected challenge arrived. A large development company announced plans to purchase nearby farmland and remove several historic homes, including the restored cottage. Many elderly residents feared losing places where their families had lived for generations. Without hesitation, Lenora organized community meetings, gathered historical records, and encouraged neighbors to work together instead of giving up. Watching her leadership, Alaric realized she possessed the rare ability to inspire hope during difficult times. At last, he decided the time had come to reveal the truth. During a daytime community celebration held in the restored gardens, several black vehicles quietly arrived. Business executives stepped out, greeting Alaric with obvious respect. Local reporters soon recognized him as the billionaire founder whose charitable foundation had quietly rebuilt schools, hospitals, and community centers across the country. The entire crowd stood speechless. Lenora stared in disbelief. The humble traveler she had worked beside every afternoon had never been homeless at all. He had chosen to hide his wealth because he wanted to discover who treated others with kindness when no reward seemed possible. He publicly praised Lenora for seeing dignity instead of appearances. Then he announced something even more surprising. His foundation had purchased the threatened land, preserving every historic home and establishing a permanent community trust managed by local residents. The restored cottage would become a training center where young adults leaving difficult family situations could learn practical skills, receive career guidance, and rebuild their confidence. Lenora would lead the program. News of Alaric's identity quickly reached Colette. Expecting to benefit from the billionaire's generosity, she arrived demanding recognition and claiming she had always supported Lenora. Instead, legal documents revealed that Lenora's late father had carefully protected his daughter's inheritance. Colette's attempts to misuse estate funds had already attracted legal scrutiny, and she was required to return property that never belonged to her. Standing before the community she had once looked down upon, Colette finally understood that greed had cost her everything that truly mattered. Lenora did not celebrate her stepmother's humiliation. Instead, she quietly thanked everyone who had helped her survive the hardest season of her life. She had learned that bitterness only continues the cycle of pain. Forgiveness does not erase injustice, but it allows wounded hearts to move forward without carrying hatred forever. As months became years, the community center flourished. Young people discovered new careers. Families found hope. Neighbors who had once felt forgotten built lasting friendships. The little cottage, once nearly abandoned, became a symbol that broken places and broken lives can both be restored through compassion. Alaric never asked for admiration. He simply continued serving quietly beside everyone else. The friendship between him and Lenora grew steadily through shared purpose, mutual respect, and countless ordinary afternoons spent helping others. Eventually, what began as an unexpected partnership became a love built on trust rather than wealth. Before this story comes to its close, we would love to hear from you. Please leave a meaningful comment sharing whether you believe true character is revealed by how we treat people who appear to have nothing. Looking back, Lenora often realized the $200 had never defined her worth. Her value had never depended on another person's opinion, possessions, or cruelty. It had always existed within her kindness, courage, and willingness to keep believing in goodness despite everything she endured. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. May this story remind us that no human being can ever be measured by money, appearances can hide extraordinary hearts, and sometimes the greatest fortune in life is discovering the people who see your true worth long before the rest of the world does.